Hello students, I am here to discuss with you the latter half of the chapter articles. In the previous video, you have studied about the usage of indefinite article and the omission of indefinite article. Now my dear students, article forms a very important part of English language. Article, if not used properly, doesn't give a good impression to an English reader. So we must try to make the proper use of articles. So now, usage of definite article. Where all should we use the definite article the? When the noun is known to the reader. For example, the shirt I am wearing was gifted by my cousin. Now the words I am wearing tell us which shirt is referred to. Second, when the noun is only one in existence. Example, the sun has risen high. When the reader or listener knows which one is referred to. Example, give me the book. Now that is the book we are talking about, which you borrowed. Another example could be, the office closes at 6. Now here the refers to the one we are in, where I work, which we are going to this afternoon, and so on. Before adjectives or participles to represent a class of people. For example, that area is inhabited by the rich. Next, before oceans, seas, rivers, deserts. For example, the Atlantic, the Bay of Bengal, the Ganga, the Thar, and so on. When the name of a country consists of an adjective plus a noun, the definite article is required unless the adjective is north, south, east, west. For example, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, the United Arab. Now there are exceptions to this. For example, we never say the North Korea, but it is North Korea, Great Britain, New Zealand, and so on. Now 3 countries with one word names take the definite article, children. For example, the Lebanon, the Congo, the Netherlands, and also the North Pole, the South Pole. When we refer to names of hotels, cinemas, theatres, ships, for example, they usually stay at the Taj Hotel before ordinal numbers which make the nouns definite. For example, the first, the second, the third, and so on. With superlatives, adjectives which make a noun definite. Example, the latest phone. Now, when the word most is used in the sense of very or the majority, then it is not a superlative and it does not require the definite article. For example, I find his story most interesting. Now here most is not used in the sense of a superlative. It is used in the sense of very or the majority. So that in that case. Another example could be, I have read most of the articles in this magazine. Now here most means majority. So in this case we will not put the before most. Next, when, next and last when they are particulars, or when they normally particularize. And the next question is the last one in the list. Now, the is omitted when next and last refer to the period immediately before or after the present. For example, if we say Jane got married last week and Jim is getting married next week, in this case we will not use, children, the, because it is referring to a particular period before or after the present period. But normally next and last, they are taken as something particular and they particularize. when the with a singular countable noun represents a whole class of things. For example, the elephant lives longer than most animals. With the names of newspapers, well-known books, names of people, for example, nations. In that case also, here nations, it could be like the Indians, the Italians, the English. And the names of books could be the Bible, the names of newspapers, the Times of India, and so on. Now, before comparatives, we also put the. For example, in case you want to say, the more it rains, comma, the worse the roads will be. Children, there is a misprint on the slide. It should be, the more it rains, comma, the worse roads will be. So you can make a change there. So in this case, when there is a comparison, we can also use the. But the comparisons have to have constructions like the and the twice in a sentence. Then, before certain expressions of time, for example, in the morning, in the evening, and so on. Now, at times it happens that the expressions of time do not take the definite article. For example, when we have to say last week, or last month, or last year, or midnight, then we do not use the there. For example, we don't say I'll meet you at the noon. We'll say I'll meet you at noon. I'll meet you next week, and not the next week. Now we come to the omission of definite articles. Where all should we omit a definite articles? Where we do not use a definite article. Before plural nouns. For example, when we take these plural nouns as a whole class, snakes are often dangerous. Now here snakes are referring to the whole class of snakes. So there we will not use the before the word snakes. Before uncountable nouns, for example, he studied history. Now history cannot be counted. You cannot put a the before that. Before abstract nouns, for example, curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity is an example of abstract noun. We cannot say the curiosity. It should be curiosity killed the cat. Another example could be necessity is the mother of invention. So necessity is an abstract noun. We do not put a definite article before it. Now before names of languages used as nouns. For example, he learnt Russian. My brother studied Sanskrit. Now, if the word for the language is used as an adjective, then the definite article is necessary. For example, the Russian language is spoken by millions of people. Now, here Russian is used as an adjective. So, in that case, we have to put a definite article before it. But when we are talking about Russian as a language, he spoke Russian. We will not put a definite article. We will not say he spoke the Russian. No, he spoke Russian. Before man, used in the sense of mankind. For example, man has more intelligence than the animals. So before man, we will not put the, because man is here used as a whole class, as a whole class of mankind. In certain expressions, for example, at home, on top, we never use a definite article. Now, children, you must look at the difference that is given in your slides, the difference in the meaning of the two sentences. For example, he has gone to church. Second example says he has gone to the church. Now here both the sentences have a different meaning. There is a difference in the meaning. He has gone to church here refers to the fact that he has gone to church for the usual purpose which he goes for. That is like to worship or to pray. And the second sentence says he has gone to the church. Now that this means that possibly he's gone there for some other purpose, possibly to do a job. So this is the difference, my dear children. Another example which is not there in the slide, which I can quote, is some students didn't come to school this morning. Another one, my father came to the school to talk to the headmaster. Now some students didn't come to school this morning. Now here there is no the put before school. It means that students come to school for their usual purpose. They usually come to school to study. Second sentence says my father came to the school to talk to the headmaster. Now he came to the school for some unusual purpose for which he doesn't come usually. So in that case we use the definite article the. Another example, my brother is in hospital. It means that my brother is in hospital because he is ill. My sister, who's a nurse, is at the hospital. This shows that sister who's a nurse, so she's there for her job. So that's the difference. Now we come to the repetition of articles. When two or more adjectives qualify the same noun, the article is used before the first adjective only. When they qualify different nouns, the article is used before each adjective. As you can see in the example, the first sentence says, she bought a pink and blue frock. It means she bought one frock which was in two colors, pink and blue. So the article is used before the first adjective only. Okay? Now when they qualify different nouns, then it is used before each adjective. For example, she bought a pink and a blue frock. Means she bought two frocks, one was pink, one was blue. So this is the difference. In the first sentence it means she bought a frock which had two colors, pink and blue. Second sentence says she bought a pink frock and a blue frock. Next example of repetition of articles. Now, children, just listen to this. When two or more connected nouns refer to the same person or thing, the article is normally used before the first only. For example, the painter and sculptor had come. Now here it means there's just one person who is a painter as well as a sculptor. So in that case we use it only once before one noun. But when two or more connected nouns refer to different persons or things, the article is used before each. Now you can see it in the last sentence. The painter and the sculptor had come. Now there are two different persons. One is a painter and the other is a sculptor. So children, this is about repetition of articles. Articles may seem to be very easy to you, but my dear children, they will definitely be easy and you will find your sentences framed in a much better frame if you just stick to these rules as I've explained all of them in both these chapters. So thank you for now. See you again.